Hey everyone, Brad Allen. This is part three of Coyote Night Hunting 101. Our first video, we went over stand location. Our second, we went on stand and calling sequences. Now, the third, we're going to go over equipment that we use while we're out in the field. So, the first couple of videos, we kind of went over stand location, how to access those, and using the terrain and wind to let your setup allow you to get a shot before a coyote wins you. So some of the things that make us successful, go back and watch those two videos. So this equipment that we have, always try to buy the best that you can with what your budget allows you to. Whether coming into a rifle, your scope, your tripod, your call, these things can get quite expensive. It's not hard at all. If you start going to the top of the line stuff, I mean, you're probably going to get into that $15,000 to $20,000 range. You can, if you have some of the things, you might be able to get into that $4, $5, $6,000, just according to what your budget allows you to do. You might even be able to get into that couple $1,000 range. So your rifle, we have a 22 caliber restriction here in West Virginia, and pretty much with that, I like the velocities, the energy of at least a 22 250. This is a 22 Creedmoor, so we get a couple hundred feet per second faster out of it than what we will a 22 250. Other states, people love a 243 and some of the sixes, 6.5s, different calibers that people really like, and they're great calibers. But for West Virginia, I'm going to use a 22 Creedmoor. It's more forgiving. 22 to 50 is great. A 223, if that's what you have and that's what your budget allows you, people use 17s and kill coyotes. It's not the best caliber to use, of course. I want something that is more forgiving so that I don't have runners at nighttime. I put that animal down quickly. If you already have a 223, by all means use that. So getting into your scope, we have 1280 resolution, 640, 384, 256. There's 180 or 160, somewhere around that. The 384 is probably about the minimum that most people are going to recommend. A lot of these scopes, if you're looking at them around 50 yards or inside of a store or something, you can look at a 256 and think it's a pretty good image until you get out there in the field. It's really hard to identify things that are a couple hundred yards with 256. So a 384 is what most people consider about the minimum. It depends on what your hunting range is, but with a 640, 384, you're going to be in that several hundred plus. There's people shooting 500, 600 yards with the 640s, the 1280s, and probably some 384s that are running laser rangefinders. So a huge help with these laser rangefinders. The tripods and the heads started out with aluminum, went into carbon. The aluminum, they're quite noisy. They're loud. They don't lock up quite as well. They're not as smooth as what the carbon is. Heavier. The carbon is pretty quiet, smooth. They're really strong. Then you get into your ball heads, your clamp heads. The clamp heads don't really lock up real tight. The ball heads are a little bit better. Probably the optimal sturdiness, the stability is going to be in your level heads. And I run a ball head, run a LaFoto 70 millimeter that I've just used for just a couple weeks, and I'm liking it pretty well right now. It seems like it's pretty sturdy. Your calls, the cheaper that you go to, you're not going to have as many sounds, the capability of holding as many sounds. Your remotes are not as user friendly. So just to give you an idea of some of the things that I'm using here, we'll go through each and every one of them. And this is a custom built 22 Creedmoor. It has, of course, the adder is a 640 resolution. I think it's TS50 640. It does have a very sharp image. I'm tickled with it. I wish it did have a laser rangefinder. Of course, I wish it was 1280. But right now, it's not a problem. It's fine. It's clear image. Cuts through the humidity and the weather conditions fairly well. So I like the AGM adder. It's served me very well. As far as the gun goes, it is a bolt action. It's on an arrow soulless action. It's 308 action. It has an Oregon Mountain rifle, carbon fiber barrel. This weighs roughly about 7 3/4 pounds. It's not extremely light. It's not very heavy, so it's capable. The heaviness of it is not an issue. It's 24-inch barrel. The suppressor is a Silencer Co. 36 Omega. It does very well. It takes most of the boom out of the sound of the round, and so it's very hearing friendly. We do probably kill a few more coyotes at times because of the suppressor. It's an XLR aluminum chassis, and one big thing, this is integrated rail for an ARCA rail, and that is something that I found out versus the clamps. The ARCA rail locks up a whole lot tighter. It's uh, a lot more sturdy. You won't shake as much with the ARCA rail versus the clamps, especially like maybe the bogs and things. Some of the other ones are a little bit better than them, but it's a few of the things that I've went through on guns. For me, this is very adequate. There's a low profile laser, green laser on this that I got from Amazon, probably $30, $40 or so. This does have a 60-degree throw on, so the bolt lift is 60 degrees instead of most are about a 90. And that does allow me to get a little bit faster with ejecting a shell and reloading one. I think this is an A and B. It has adjustable cheek rest on the buttstock, and the length of pull is adjustable. Like that function on that. So going into about the second thing, and it's hard to call this number two, but our handheld scanner. It's a Pulsar Helion XP50, so it's a 640 resolution. Also, I have a couple different batteries with this. Actually, the battery life in the adder is very great. Hardly ever do I have to run an external. We do a tournament occasionally, and I might run one throughout the night at some point in time, an external battery. But for the most part, I can usually go hunt 2 or 3 times during the week just for a few hours, and the battery life is great. A couple batteries with this. This is an IPS 14 battery. Lasts all night long. It'll last 12 hours, and so I don't have to charge it or anything. So that's one thing to look at with thermals is your battery life, your functions. That makes things a lot easier, a lot nicer, less aggravating to deal with. And so this handheld scanner just frees up so much. If you're sitting on a tripod and you're having to scan back and forth with your thermal scope on your rifle, and it just limits your movement, your ability so much. We shoot a lot coming in and out of stands that we wouldn't if we was just relying on our rifle. It's aggravating stopping and getting out the tripod, setting it up to scan a field. So this just makes it so much more convenient for us driving in and out of the farms. Whether we're in a vehicle or on a side by side, we're able to scan out the windows. So the next thing, well, let me go over this. This is it's an Allen shooting stick, able to take off there's a little Y that sits on this, a little monopod for a shooting stick. Has a 1/4 inch lug. Most scanners will have a 1/4 inch female insert in them. So you're able to put these on this, and it'll relieve a lot of shoulder fatigue. And so you're not constantly up here. You're able to rest your arm and be able to have that scanner down at your waist. And I also use a binocular harness that I have a lanyard attached to, able to put that on the scanner, and then I'll just when I see something going into my scope, I just let it dangle at my chest. And so those are a couple of things that really help me to be more functional as I'm hunting. This is a Fox Pro X24. probably capable of 1,000+ sounds. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember, but 1,000 sounds is a lot. There's 400 or 500 on it right now. The remotes. This is a TX1000 remote. The buttons are really big on it, very user friendly. Even if I have gloves on, I am familiar with it. But even if I have gloves on, I'm able to maneuver around on this keypad. It does light up, and you have different settings to where you can set the light at different brightnesses. The so that is fully loaded with MFK Sounds, which is a phenomenal company. A lot of great sounds. I noticed a huge difference from going into the X24 with the MFK Sounds versus what I had before. I was running basically just normal stock Fox Pro sounds, and a lot lesser call, only capable of just a few hundred sounds. But it was not nowhere near the quality as what this one is. It's 24-bit sound, so it has great sound to it. Also, keep MFK's diaphragm in my mouth. I try to 100% of the time. I occasionally forget about it, but it doesn't take me too long, and I'm reaching in my pocket, grabbing a hold of that. So, and what I'm doing with the diaphragm is I stop a coyote when it gets into range. I stop it by barking. It's a natural sound. So I bark, stop, and take the shot. Also, after I shoot, you'll notice in some of the videos I start yipping, doing distress sounds, and that allows me a little bit of time before I can get a hold of my remote and be able to do some coyote distresses. After we have harvested coyote, going out into the field with this is just I made this out of paracord. It has three little small extensions on it. I'm able to just loop knot this around the coyote's leg or around its mouth. This has a handle. This is just an ascender for rock climbing. It just fits in there. So it's just makeshift thing that I had and keep in my pocket. I also carry a red a light that's capable of red light, and that I'm always using a red light. Don't want to use white lights. Occasionally you need to see something. Occasionally we need a white light to be able to find our brass and different things. I don't like leaving brass out in the stands and out in people's fields and things. I always want to pick up all of our litter and all that. So this has been just a little bit long, just probably like all the other ones have. But we're going to cut this off right here, and we will hope that we've said something, shown you something that helps you just a little bit. And please like, follow, share. Leave me some comments if somebody has suggestions or wants something explained a little farther. Be more than happy to. And always, God bless. Thank you for watching.